Hi, this is Accounting 1. We are on Chapter 5, Lesson 2. And in this lesson, we're going to be talking about a bank reconciliation. So a bank reconciliation is something that both businesses and just people in general who have bank accounts should always do. So the first thing we're going to do is what is a definition. What is a bank statement? So the definition of a bank statement in your book on page 124 says, the report of deposits, withdrawals, and bank balances sent to a depositor by a bank. So basically, it is the bank's report of what they have, a record of you doing during the month usually. Usually it's a 30-day period. So sometimes the bank records may be different than the customer's records, and there's 4 reasons for this. Those are listed also on page 124. The first reason is that a service charge may not have been recorded in the depositor's bank records. So maybe there's a service charge, a monthly service charge that the bank charges you, but you don't have in your records. And I'm just going to list it as a service charge may not be recorded in your records. Okay. The second reason why the bank statement and your check register may be different is because outstanding deposits may be recorded in the depositor's records but not on the bank statements. So you may have outstanding deposits. And what an outstanding deposit is a deposit that you have made in the bank, but the bank has not recorded it yet. A lot of times if you go to the bank, you'll notice that they have a sign up that says deposits made after 3 p.m. will not be counted until the following day. So you've made the deposit, it's in your records, but the bank isn't showing it yet. So the other thing that may happen is you have an outstanding check. Okay, and an outstanding check is basically the same as an outstanding deposit. You have written a check, you know about the check, but the bank doesn't know about the check because you gave it to your friend who then put it in their pocket and they haven't taken it to the bank yet. So that's an outstanding check. And outstanding checks, you may have an outstanding check for a day, or that check may be outstanding for several months. So you always have to keep track of any outstanding checks. And the fourth reason why they may be different is you may have made a math or recording error. So you were writing it down and you wrote down instead of $57, you wrote $75, or you didn't subtract correctly or add in your deposit correctly, or you forgot to write down a check. That happens. Occasionally, the bank does make a mistake, not very often, but it's always a good idea to double check as soon as your bank statement comes. You want to double check and make sure that their records are going to match your records. And we're going to learn today how to make them match even though the ending number is not the same. So when you are filling out your bank reconciliation, the first thing you're going to do is you are going to get your statement from the bank. And you're going to go through your bank statement, and anytime the bank statement shows a check or shows a deposit listed, you're going to go through your records and you're going to place a check mark on the check stub. For each canceled check, you would also place a check mark next to any deposits. So if a check mark is placed on the check stub of a canceled check, what does the check stub with the now check mark indicate? Okay, complicated long sentence. Basically, a check mark means that it is shown on the statement and that the bank has a record for it. So the check mark indicates that the check is not outstanding and it is shown on the bank statement. There are 10 steps to doing your bank reconciliation. And if you look in your book at 125, it will show you a picture of what the bank's reconciliation form looks like, and we're going to do that together here in just a little bit. First of all, you're going to write the date it is prepared. Okay, you're not going to write the date that is printed on your bank statement. You're writing the date that you are preparing your bank reconciliation. On the left-hand side of the paper, you're going to list any bank charges. So list the bank charges. Okay. Also, if there are any, you're going to back up here. I got ahead of myself. On the left-hand side, the first thing you're doing, it says balance on check stub number whatever. So this is, on the left, you're going to list your bank balance. On the next unused check stub. Okay, so then if there is any, you're going to record any service charges. And then you're going to write your adjusted check balance or adjusted check stub balance. And this will all make sense here in a minute whenever we actually do one together. On the right-hand side of the form, you're going to begin with writing the balance on the bank statement. Okay, or balance shown on the bank statement. Okay, because I said your bank statement balance and your check stub balance may not be the same. Next, you're going to write any outstanding deposits. Okay, you're going to add the bank balance to the outstanding deposits. Then you're going to list the outstanding checks. So, I don't know, just list the outstanding checks. You're going to calculate your new adjusted balance. Let's go up here. After you list the outstanding checks, you're going to subtract those from the bank balance. Okay, and you're going to compare the two balances. This is important. The balances must match. If your balances don't match, then there is a mistake made somewhere. It could be just a mistake on your bank reconciliation form, or it could be a mistake that you made in your check register. So let's actually go ahead and do a reconciliation bank statement. Okay? And so your book's going to give you all the information that you would need to complete this bank statement. First of all, we would write the date. Remember, this is the date that we are preparing it, not the date shown on your bank statement. The date shown on your bank statement actually has August the 30th. Okay? We would take our bank statement, we would go through our check register, and we would put the check marks on any checks and deposit slips that are listed on our bank statement. Okay? Then we're going to write the balance on our check on our next unused check stub. And what is that next unused check stub number? It was number 14. And the balance, looks like I've got to make my writing a lot smaller. Okay, so the balance shown on that next unused check stub is actually $4,972. Okay. Do we have any bank charges? So was there any bank charges listed on your bank statement? We're looking on page 124 at the bank statement that came. And it looks like down at the very bottom they have an SC, $8. So that SC is referring to a service charge. So over here in description, I'm going to put service charge. And I'm going to put the amount of the service charge. So this service charge was $8. Okay, if there was other service charges, I would list all those there and then add them together. So total bank charges is going to be my $8. So my adjusted check stub balance, I'm going to take my beginning check stub balance and I need to subtract my $8, and that's going to give me $4,964. Okay, so you might want to make a note some here that we are subtracting. Okay. Then on the right-hand side, we're going to list the balance shown on your bank statement, and usually you can find this at the very bottom of the list, or sometimes they will have it up at the top listed. And it looks like the statement balance for this one is $5,304. Okay, do we have any outstanding deposits? Well, the only way we know that we have outstanding deposits is we went through the bank statement and looked at it and compared it to our check register. And yes, we have a deposit that we are showing we made on August the 31st for $190 that is not on our bank statement. Now, that doesn't mean the bank did not get that, because remember, the bank statement, if you look there, is dated August 30th. So they printed this and mailed it before we made the deposit, but we didn't get it in the mail until after the deposit was made. So we're just going to list our deposit by the date, and I'm just going to put 8/31/14. And the amount of that deposit, which was for $190. Okay, so total outstanding deposits. If we had more than one, we would list them all. Since we only have the one, we're just going to put $190 there. We're going to figure our next subtotal. So we're going to take the balance on the bank statement and add the outstanding deposits. So our total is $5,494. Okay, and if you need to put somewhere over here, you might want to put add, so you know to add those. Okay, next we're going to list any outstanding checks. Looks like you got lucky. I forgot to take those off. So we looked through our checks and we had check number 12 and check number 13 that did not have a check mark beside of them. And if you want to, go ahead and highlight these or write over top of them so we can list them out. It's check number 12, and it was for $30. And we had check number 13, and it was for $500. Okay, I would list any checks that did not have a check mark. This would also include any debit card transactions, any automatic payments that you know have happened but the bank doesn't have record of yet. You're going to list those here. Total outstanding checks. I'm going to add together all of my items that are listed here as outstanding, and that total is $530. Okay. The next thing I need to do is get my adjusted bank balance. So I'm going to take the $5,494. I am going to subtract my outstanding checks. So if you want to go ahead and write subtract here. And I'm going to get my new adjusted bank balance, which is going to be $4,964. Okay, here's where it's important to look. Does this balance here match this one? If yes, good, you're ready to go on. If no, then you need to go back through, look at this form, see if you made a mistake on it. If you didn't make a mistake here, see if there was a check mark that you